I'm looking at this faded picture. Corners of worn, time is dust. That's us up on the rooftop summer when the city felt like us. We didn't know the life scripts of the game would deal us then. Didn't know who'd rise above and who would lose their minds again. The crew was like the fingers on a hand, one fist a solid wall. We split the bread and cigarettes, not scared of nighttime's call. That innocence in every glance, a belief it's all for life. But time's a sharpened razor blade, it makes it clean a certain slice. Today that same old avenue, it doesn't breathe the way it did. The streetlights flicker dimly now beneath the heavy clouded lid. Some moved away to distant shores, some others haven't claimed what's left. Are only shadows now, they're empty doors, their whispered names. I still recall that heavy laughter like it was only yesterday. We built our paper palaces and planned to make the future pay, but winds of change just blew them down and left the naked sober fact. The past is just a film reel and this is our final act. These concrete echoes hold a trace of every single name on cold brick walls of project halls, a silent waiting game, and every scar upon the heart a mark that can't erase. We're the ones who still remember burning in this empty space. My father taught me to be strong, to stare my problems in the eye. Don't trust the pretty fairy tales, just live the truth and never lie. He said that honor isn't gear or having pockets full of cash. It's how you walk your chosen path when your whole world begins to crash. I watched him break his back for us so we would never know the need. The calluses upon his hands, that was the real and honest breed. And mom would always pray so quiet that trouble wouldn't find our door. Her love a silent, unseen shield from all the wolves that were at war. Your family is the anchor that will hold your vessel in the storm. When you're surrounded by the pack and every friend feels cold, not warm. They never ask you if you're right or if you stumbled on the way. They just unlock the door and whisper, come inside, you're safe today. No matter how the years go by, how the roads are filled with snow, I know there is that same old house, a place where I can always go. With lukewarm tea is on the table and my mother's quiet, gentle stare. That is my fortress and my shield, my only refuge from despair. These concrete echoes hold a trace of every single name on cold brick walls of project halls, a silent waiting game, and every scar upon the heart, a mark that can't erase. We're the ones who still remember burning in this empty space. Empty space, empty space, empty space, empty space, empty space.
These funky echoes hold a trace. These funky echoes hold a trace.
Like pages in a cheap novel, faces fade, voices get quiet. But the moments, they stick short flashes in your memory. The first busted lip, the first handshake that became an oath. That night we all knew childhood was over. You can't erase that. It's in you forever. Yeah. The paranoia whispers low, says you can't put your trust in men. That every single rising sun is just the cycle starts again. I watch the young kids on the block, I see the same old fire burn. They have that faith in their tomorrow, but life's a lesson hard to learn. I'm not the one to preach to them, I don't pretend to be a god. I just can see my own reflection, the worn out man I am inside. And their ambitious, reckless plans, their fast mistakes, their urgent pace. I see the kid I used to be and fight the lines upon my face. Now hope's a strange and stubborn thing, it lives inside a broken pain. And tagged up words on dirty walls and words that dry up in the rain. It's in the smile of a little man who kicks a ball in an empty court, and in the thought that there's still someone when it makes the days too short. I'm not searching for the answers, not expecting easy hands. My fate is what my hands can build, my life is what my will demands. As long as I can draw a breath and I remember who was there, I'll fight until the very end for this cold city of despair. These concrete echoes hold a trace of every single name on cold brick walls of project halls, a silent waiting game, and every scar upon the heart, a mark that can't erase. We're the ones who still remember burning in this empty space. These concrete echoes hold a trace of every single name on cold brick walls of project halls, a silent waiting game, and every scar upon the heart, a mark that can't erase. We're the ones who still remember burning in this empty space. The memory. These concrete echoes hold a trace. The memory. These concrete echoes hold a trace. The memory. These concrete echoes hold a trace. The memory. These concrete echoes hold a trace on the walls. In the silence. Forever.
Hey yo, I walk the line where iron bends and breaks, where loyalty tests the bonds that no one fakes. Past mistakes like shadows clinging unyielding weight. I steal my heart, now I reckon with my fate. Brothers lost to the game, tails and toes, scars that never mend. Promises rusted deep inside, but still I must defend. The streets demand a heavy toll, paid in sweat and pain. Every step forward is chased by ghosts that whisper in the rain. I see the wrecking in the mirror and the lines upon my face. A map of every battle won in this unforgiving place. They thought I'd break, they thought I'd fold, they thought I'd lose my nerve. But every trial and every test is just another learning curve. These are the ironclad reckonings,
cold and hard and true.
A lesson learned in every scar.
For me and for my crew.
The silent vows that we all made.
The lines will never cross.
To rise above the bitter loss and be our own damn boss. These are the ironclad reckonings,
cold and hard and and true.
A lesson learned in every scar.
For me and for my crew.
The silent vows that we all made.
The lines will never cross.
Let's rise above the bitter loss and be our own damn boss. I carry the weight of names etched in stone, like markers on the grave. The whispers of the ancestors, the courage that they gave. Betrayal came dressed in a smile, cheap and false and thin. But honor is the shield I hold, the war I fight within. My mother's voice, a beacon in the darkest, longest night, taught me that survival is a product of your inner light. My father's hands built futures with a callous, quiet pride. Their legacy's the armor that I always wear inside. The city's a machine that's built to grind your soul to dust. It feeds on desperation and it turns your dreams to rust. But we are forged in different fires, we're made of harder stuff. And for the ones who doubt us, just surviving is
all the ironclad reckonings.
Cold and hard and true.
The lesson learned in every scar.
For me and for my crew.
Silent vows that we all made.
The lines will never cross.
To rise above the bitter loss and be our own damn boss. All the ironclad reckonings.
Cold and hard and true.
The lesson learned in every scar.
For me and for my crew.
Silent vows that we all made.
The lines will never
To
cross.
rise above the bitter loss and be our own damn boss.
When you stare down your past, there's no turning back. Every choice is a forge, every path is a track. The hardest lessons build the strongest men. You keep your honor close again and again. The city's cruel machinations weave a complicated maze, but I walk on, a man who's been hardened by the haze. I see the youth chasing flames, but they're unaware it burns. I try to pass the torch of wisdom from the lessons that I've learned. There's iron in my bloodstream, there's a fire in my soul. These reckonings, they didn't break me, they're what made me whole. So I hold fast to the truth, the bond that my crew shares. An ironclad resolve that shows the world that someone cares. This ain't for glory or for riches, it's for peace of mind, to leave a better world for all the ones we've left behind. A testament to will and strength, a story to be told, more precious than the silver, more valuable
All
than
the
gold.
ironclad reckonings.
Cold and hard and
A
true.
lesson learned in every scar.
For me and for my crew.
The silent vows that we all made.
The lines will never
To
cross.
rise above the bitter loss and be our own damn boss. These are the ironclad reckonings.
Cold and hard and true.
A lesson learned in every scar.
For me and for my crew.
Silent vows that we all made.
The lines will never
To
cross.
rise above the bitter loss and be our own damn boss. These are the ironclad reckonings.
Cold and hard and
A
true.
lesson learned in every scar.
For me and for my crew.
Silent vows that we all made.
The lines will never
To
cross.
rise above the bitter loss and be our own damn boss.
Still resolve, unbending spine. Through the storm, we still shine. Ironclad, until the end of time. This is a solemn, sacred rhyme.
You think you're writing old legend, but you're not. You're just another character in a book that's already been written. Then they never change it. Then they never.
Here's a parable for you. Extra 9 told and stood about a kid named Leo with a fast and nimble foot. He saw the game as a ladder. Each transaction was a rung. Had the ambition of a giant. The poison on his tongue. He moved with silent confidence. His eyes were cold and old. Bought his mother a new coat to keep her from the winter's cold. He thought that made him righteous. A modern Robin Hood, taken from the greedy for his neighborhood's own good. But the streets don't trade in morals. They only deal in cost. For every victory you claim, another piece of you is lost. He built a castle made of paper on a throne of quicksand lies, and couldn't see the coming storm reflected in his buyer's eyes. The lesson isn't subtle, it's a hammer to the head. The path of easy money is a path that's paved with dread. He learned that loyalty's a currency you can't just buy and sell. The day his own foundation cracked and dragged him down to hell. These are still parables written on the bricks and tar. A lesson about how reaching for the sky can leave a scar. The moral of the story's never clean and never kind. It's just a cold equation that the hungry always find. The second tells of silence, a girl who saw too much. She learned to read the quiet, the meaning in the touch. Her brother was a player, a legend in the game. She watched him rise and build it all, then burn it down in flames. She saw the fear, he tried to hide behind a confident facade. The lonely nights he spent awake, a weary, tired guard of a kingdom he created that was eating him alive. The constant quiet pressure just to struggle and survive. She never spoke a word of it, she packed it all away. The heavy price of loyalty she had to overpay. She learned that power isn't loudest in the things you hold inside. The secrets that you carry in the places that you hide. When they came for him at sunrise, she didn't cry or scream, just watched another chapter end of this recurring bitter dream. Her strength was not in vengeance or a promise to repay, but in the will to walk away and live to fight another day. These are still parables written on the bricks and tar. A lesson about how reaching for the sky can leave a scar. The moral of the story's never clean and never kind. It's just a cold equation that the hungry always find. Every story on this block starts the same, a choice, a shortcut. You think you're writing your own legend, but you're not. You're just another character in a book that's already been written. The ending never changes. The final verse is my own, a chapter incomplete, a student of the errors made on this unforgiving street. I've seen the rise and fall of kings, the silent and the proud. I've heard the whispered warnings that get lost inside the crowd. I took my lessons from their ghosts, from stories told in scars. I learned to navigate the maze beneath the dying stars. My ambition is an empire, it's a quiet steady hand to build something that's solid on a piece of my own land. Not a plot of dirt or property, but a space within my soul that the hunger of the city can't devour and control. I walk with the awareness that every step's a test to keep the man I wanna be from being like the rest. This isn't about winning, it's about the right to choose the kind of fight you're fighting and the things you will refuse to sacrifice for status, for a temporary gain. It's about finding shelter, learning how to stand the rain. These are still parables written on the bricks and tar, a lesson about I'm reaching for the sky can leave a scar. The moral of the story's never clean and never kind. It's just the cold equation that the hungry always find. These are still parables written on the bricks and tar, a lesson about I'm reaching for the sky can leave a scar. The moral of the story's never clean and never kind. It's just the cold equation that the hungry always find.
Read the signs, don't learn the text. Don't be the next. The mending never changes. Parable. Parable. Parable.
Yeah. Roots deep in the soil, wings ready to fly. Lessons passed in silence, love's unspoken tie. Mama's hands, strong as the earth that raised me. Daddy's words, steady like a calm sea. We grow from what's given, but reach for the sky. Balancing where we come from with dreams held high. The blocks taught survival, the streets tested pride. But family's the anchor, the light, and the guide. Every step forward built on the past. Hustling hard, knowing it's built to last. Fighting for tomorrow, holding fast. Roots and wings, present and past. Roots and wings, the struggles and the dreams. Building futures from where the darkness gleams. Family's voice in the howling streams. Roots and wings, stronger than it seems.
I see the faces of my kin, the hope in their eyes. A promise whispered softly beneath city skies. We carry weight, but lighter when shared. A legacy forged in love and care. The night brings questions, the day brings light. We keep on walking, pushing through the fight. Roots hold fast, wings stretch wide. Together we soar side by side. Lessons learned from every fall. Strength rebounds, we stand tall. This family's love will conquer all. Roots and wings, answering the call.
Roots and wings, the struggles and the dreams. Building futures from where the darkness gleams. Family's voice in the howling streams. Roots and wings, stronger than it seems. Roots and wings, the struggles and the dreams. Building futures from where the darkness gleams. Family voice in the howling streams. Roots and wings, stronger than it seems.
Hold close your past, don't forget the ground, but lift your gaze where hope is found. With roots deep strong and wings spread wide, you'll find your place, stand with pride. I'm the whisper of my father's voice, the echo in my soul. A tapestry of stories that make me whole. I teach my children what I've learned, the balance in the whole, to cherish where they come from and the future goal. This life's a journey, a cycle, a dream. Roots hold the truth, wings chase the gleam. And when my name is spoken, I hope they see a man who lived fully, holy, free. Roots and wings, the song I sing, a balance of everything. Just roots and wings, the struggles and the dreams. Building futures from where the darkness gleams. Family's voice in the howling streams. Roots and wings, stronger than it seems. Roots and wings, the struggles and the dreams. Building futures from where the darkness gleams. Family's voice in the howling streams. Roots and wings, stronger than it seems. Roots and wings, purpose and warm, no branches sway. Roots and wings, guide the way. Past and future, night and day. Roots and wings will never stray. Roots and wings. Will never stray. Man, that's right.
Yeah. Me on to this, on to this, on to this, me on to this, on to this, me on to this, yeah.
I trace the lines on this cracked sidewalk, a map of where I've been. Every scar a testament, a story held within. We were born into the echo of a siren's lonely cry, taught to keep our heads down low and never question why. The city's breath is cold and sharp, it smells of rust and rain. We learned to build a fortress from the anger and the pain. I see the ghosts of childhood friends in every passing face, the ones who gambled with the future and vanished without a trace. They chased the gleam of fool's gold, the promise of a crown, and ended up as cautionary tales in this forgotten town. I chose a different path to walk the line and hold my own, to build a life on solid ground from seeds that I have sown. This ain't a game of chance, my friend, it's a battle of the will to keep your soul intact when the whole damn world stands still. These are the Asphalt Testaments, the words we never speak. A silent promise to the strong, a warning to the weak. To rise above the ruins, from the concrete we ascend. This is the code we live and die by, until the very end. My father's hands were calloused from a life of honest toil. He said your word is all you have on this unforgiving soul. He worked the double shifts for years. His silence was his strength to give his sons a fighting chance at any given length. My mother's prayers were whispers that could hold the roof above. A quiet, fierce devotion, an unconditional love. She told me compassion is a weapon, not a weakness to conceal. A shield against the bitterness, a wound that you can heal. I carry the lessons with me, engraved upon my heart. A blueprint for survival, a way to play my part. The city is a labyrinth, the shadows and deceit, but family is the anchor that will guide your weary feet. So I walk with my head high, but my eyes are open wide, with the wisdom of my ancestors walking right by my side. These are the Asphalt Testaments of words we never speak. A silent promise to the strong, a warning to the weak. To rise above the ruins, from the concrete we ascend. This is the code we live and die by, until the very end. They sell you dreams on billboards, promise you the sky, but down here, the only thing you own is your name and the choices you make when no one's watching. I see the hunger in the eyes of the young bloods on the block. They're running on a broken clock against a system that's a lock. They want the kingdom overnight, the crown without the fight, and trade their future for a moment of a false and blinding light. I don't preach, I don't condemn, I just let my actions speak. A quiet testament to strength for those who are too weak to see beyond the present tense. The temporary high to understand the true respect is something you can't buy. My legacy won't be in chains or cars of empty hollow phrases. In the character I built through these complicated days, it's for my daughter and my son, to give them what I never had. A foundation built on honor to distinguish good from bad. This is my war, my quiet protest, my solitary vow to break the cycle of despair. Starting here and starting now. These are the Asphalt Testaments, the words we never speak. A silent promise to the strong, a warning to the weak. To rise above the ruins, from the concrete we ascend. This is the code we live and die by, until the very end. These are the Asphalt Testaments, the words we never speak. A silent promise to the strong, a warning to the weak. To rise above the ruins, from the concrete we ascend. This is the code we live and die by, until the very end. The streetlights hum a lonely tune, a story to be told. The ink is dry, the pages turn, a testament in gold. Not the kind that shines, but the kind that holds. Until the very end. Yeah. The neon signs flicker, reflecting in the rain. A city's sharp heartbeat, a rhythm born of pain. Every step's a calculated risk, every breath a conscious fight. In the cold electric pulse that dominates the night. We were raised in project shadows, surviving on the scraps, learning how to read the signs and avoid the deadly traps. But inside this grinding rhythm, a different fire burns, a whisper of a stubborn hope at every single turn. It's the pulse of the survivors, the ones who won't give in. A story written on the walls, where do we begin? The city is a living thing, it breathes and it could bleed. And we're the antibodies fighting off its endless toxic greed. Cold pulse is the heart of the grind, a city's rhythm for the one of a kind. Through the smoke and the blur, we push and we endure. It's survival's only cure, all that you can be sure. This cold pulse is the heart of the grind, a city's rhythm for the one of a kind. Through the smoke and the blur, we push push and we endure. This is survival's only cure, that you can be sure. We hustle hard, carrying the weight of all our past mistakes, knowing any given moments for however long it takes. The echo of our footsteps on the cracked and broken ground, a lesson learned in silence, the most profound. The sound of cold wind blows right through you, but I refuse to fall. This pulse is deep inside of me, it helps me stand up tall. A story written in the wires, the concrete and the stone. And in this crowded city, I have never felt alone, cause we're all connected by this beat, the struggle to exist. A brotherhood of weary souls in the early morning mist. We see the truth in tired eyes, a language we all know, a sight and understanding of the seeds we have to sow. This cold pulse is the heart of the grind, a city's rhythm for the one of a kind. Through the smoke and the blur, we push and we endure. This is survival's only cure, of that you can be sure. This cold pulse is the heart of the grind, a city's rhythm for the one of a kind. Through the smoke and the blur, we push and we endure. This is survival's only cure, of that you can be sure. This city breathes, it's alive and it's mean, but inside the chaos there's a fragile dream, a beat that connects us, a silent urgent call. We rise together or we lose it all. My eyes are wide open, my every step is on the line. I'm walking on a jagged edge by my own damn design. The cold pulse is my compass, it's steady and it's true, and every single heartbeat says it's time for something new. Through broken streets and neon glare, we find a strength inside, a place where all our honesty has no more need to hide. The city's pulse, it keeps us tight, it keeps our purpose clear, and in these cold and driving rhythms we conquer all our fear. This is for the sleepless nights, the battles fought and won, for every single one of us beneath the faded sun. A testament to resilience, a story to be heard in every single action and every single word. This cold pulse is the heart of the grind, a city's rhythm for the one of a kind. Through the smoke and the blur, we push and we endure. This is survival's only cure, of that you can be sure. This cold pulse is the heart of the grind, a city's rhythm for the one of a kind. Through the smoke and the blur, we push and we endure. This is survival's only cure, of that you can be sure. This cold pulse is the heart of the grind, a city's rhythm for the one of a kind. Through the smoke and the blur, we push and we endure. This is survival's only cure, of that you can be sure. The neon fades, the night turns cold, a city story, brave and bold. The cold pulse beats is strong and true, this rhythm lives inside of you.
Yeah, and know the mate, shit up before. Yeah, you make a promise in the cold. You think the ice will make it whole, but it doesn't. Time is a flame, it melts everything, even the things you thought were forever. Yeah, the winter of 93, the air was sharp as glass. We made a promise on the corner, hoping it would last. Our breath came out in clouds of white, our words were stark and few. A silent oath between the four of us, the loyal, trusted crew, to have each other's backs no matter what the world would send. To be your brother to the last, a true and honest friend. That promise flows right in the air, a sculpture made of ice, a monument to brotherhood beyond a mortal price. But years are like a slow thought, they erode the things you trust. They turn the sharpest principles to forgotten bitter dust. One moved away, one fell in love, one chose the other side, and suddenly that frozen oath had nowhere left to hide. It started cracking at the edges, a fragile hollow thing, the echo of a promise that a bitter wind would bring. These are the frozen oaths we swore beneath the concrete sky, the promises we couldn't keep no matter how we tried. On every winter when it's cold, I feel that same old sting of a bond that's meant to last forever, a song we couldn't sing. These are the frozen oaths we swore beneath the concrete sky, the promises we couldn't keep no matter how we tried. On every winter when it's cold, I feel that same old sting of a bond that's meant to last forever, a song we couldn't sing. I see the remnants of our crew and strangers on a train, a flicker of a memory, an echo of the pain. We thought we were invincible, a fortress made of steel, but life's a patient thief that finds the weaknesses to reveal. It wasn't one dramatic moment, no gunshot in the night, just a slow and steady drifting away from what was right. A missed phone call, a canceled plan, and we should catch up soon. The quiet creeping apathy beneath the careless moon. My father told me, son, a promise is a debt, the easiest to make, he said, the hardest to forget. And now I understand the weight of those words that he once spoke, as I stand here all alone, a sad and bitter joke, a king of a
forgotten kingdom. A captain with no ship, with the ghost of a dead promise still clinging to my legend.
Those we swore beneath the concrete sky.
The promises we couldn't keep,
No matter how we try.
every winter when it's cold,
I feel the same old sting
of a bond that's meant to last forever, song we couldn't sing.
These are the frozen oaths we swore beneath the concrete sky.
The promises we couldn't keep,
No matter how we try.
every winter when it's cold,
I feel the same old sting
of a bond that's meant to last forever, a song we couldn't sing.
You make a promise in the cold. You think the ice will make it whole, but it doesn't. Time is a flame, melts everything, even the things you thought were forever.
But maybe I was wrong, maybe the oath is not yet dead. It's just been buried under years of things we left unsaid. Maybe it's not a monument, but a seed beneath the snow, waiting for a warmer day, a chance for it to grow. So I pick up the phone today and dial a number I still know, to break the silence of the years and see if I can sow a single seed of what we were. A chance to start again, to thaw the ice around our hearts and stand as fellow men. It might not work, it might be late, the damage might be done, but I have to try to make things right beneath this weary sun. Because an oath is not a statue, it's a living, breathing choice to give a damn about your past and give your heart a voice. This is the hardest battle yet, to face what we've become and try to build a future from the place we saw. The frozen oaths we swore
Beneath the concrete sky.
the promises we couldn't keep,
No matter how we try.
every winter when it's cold,
I feel that same old sting
of a bond that's meant to last forever, song we couldn't sing. These are the frozen oaths we swore
beneath the concrete sky.
the promises we couldn't keep,
No matter how we try.
every winter when it's cold,
I feel that same old sting
of a bond that's meant to last forever, a song we couldn't sing.
These are the frozen oaths we swore beneath the concrete sky. The promises we couldn't keep, no matter how we try. These are the frozen oaths we swore beneath the concrete sky. The promises we couldn't keep, no matter how we try. A dial tone, a waiting breath, a chance to cheat a certain death, a fragile hope, a whisper word, the loudest sound you've ever heard.
Yeah,
Yeah, in this maze of streets unkind, will also seek and cannot find the broken paths and shattered dreams, where nothing's ever as it seems. The shadows twist with whispered lies, and everybody wears a disguise. Each corner hides a different foe. In this labyrinth you learn to go with your eyes wide open, back to the wall, waiting for the final call. It's a chess game played with human lives, where only the most cunning thrives. The map they gave you was a fake. For every single step you take, leads you deeper in the maze, a disorient and endless days. We were born inside this trap, with no way to retrace the map. So we learn to read the cracks and cover up our own damn tracks. A broken labyrinth winding tight, just searching for a fading light. Every step's a risk, a heavy chance, caught inside this losing dance. A broken labyrinth winding tight, just searching for a fading light. Every step's a risk, a heavy chance, caught inside this losing dance. The signs are torn, the words misread, the paths unravel filled with dread. The faces change with every turn, a bitter lesson slow to learn. The tangled webs and silent cries, the truth is buried under lies. But through the maze I still persist, to break on through the fog and mist. My father warned me of this place, a puzzle with no time or space. He said the only God you have is your own heart, don't break in half. So I navigate by instinct now, a silent and a solemn vow, to not become another ghost that's lost within, and paid the cost. This labyrinth, it wants your soul, to take away your self-control, to make you doubt the things you know, and which direction you should go. A broken labyrinth winding tight, just searching for a fading light. Every step's a risk, a heavy chance, caught inside this losing dance. A broken labyrinth winding tight, just searching for a fading light. Every step's a risk, a heavy chance, caught inside this losing dance. You think you know the way, but the path is alive. Every turn is a question, will you survive? The maze reshapes itself to trap your mind. The only way out is the strength you find. I trace the walls with a careful hand and chart the traps where others stand. Though I'm broken, lost, the will is there to rise above, beyond compare. Each wrong turn is a bitter seed, a lesson born of someone's greed. For broken walls I carve my fate and escape this maze before it's late. This is for the ones who are still inside, with nowhere left to run or hide, who think the walls are closing in, a game that they can never win. But there's a pattern to the design, a secret that is yours and mine. The exit isn't on the map, it's in the way you break the trap. It's in the mind, the will, the soul, to make yourself completely whole. A broken labyrinth winding tight, just searching for a fading light. Every step's a risk, a heavy chance, caught inside this losing dance. A broken labyrinth winding tight, just searching for a fading light. Every step's a risk, a heavy chance, caught inside this losing dance. A broken labyrinth, winding tight, you're searching for a fading light. A broken labyrinth, tapping tight, caught inside, losing dance. The path is unknown, but the heart is true. Breaking the chains and starting new. In the labyrinth's cold and dark embrace, I find my freedom, I find my place.
Yeah. Bag of light. 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 Bag of light.
Yo, keep moving now. The city's lights flicker, encoded signs, hidden messages in the electric lines. Silent deals and quiet, knowing nods. This life is governed by the neon guards. The eyes are watching from the corners dim. Your allies and your enemies decided on a whim. A paranoia threading through the night, where trust is scarce, but the cause feels right. A handshake means more than a signed up lease. A broken promise means you'll find no peace. It's an unwritten language, a visual art. You learn to read it or you're torn apart. This is the system beneath the one you see, the real set of rules for you and for me. These are the neon codes written in the light, the silent secrets that we keep beneath the night. The unspoken rules that keep us all bound. In the shadows of the city, no mercy can be found. These are the neon codes written in the light, the silent secrets that we keep beneath the night. The unspoken rules that keep us all bound. In the shadows of the city, no mercy can be found. Your loyalty's a currency that's bought in silence. Your actions speak louder than any alliance. Every handshake, every single glance is a calculated gamble in this midnight dance. The city's pulse is clinical and sharp, a symphony composed on a broken harp. You learn to decode the signs and survive the play, to find your own truth amid the disarray. A red light means danger, a green light means go, but the blue light's a warning for things you don't know. It's the code of the corner, the law of the street, the silent agreement when two rivals meet. You pay your respects, you know who is who, or the neon codes will come collecting you. These are the neon codes written in the light, the silent secrets that we keep beneath the night. The unspoken rules that keep us all bound. In the shadows of the city, no mercy can be found. These are the neon codes written in the light, the silent secrets that we keep beneath the night. The unspoken rules that keep us all bound. In the shadows of the city, no mercy can be found. Behind every light, there's a story that hides. Behind every silence, 1,000 ties. You stay alert, you hold your ground. You respect the codes or you're not around.
Gotta like that, I'm gotta get a riddle. Gotta get a riddle. Gotta like that, I'm gotta get a riddle.
I walk the fine line where all the shadows meet, and feel the presence of a silent watching street. I trust the code, I respect the unwritten law, to survive the long nights and escape the fatal flaw. The neon glow is a strange and guiding creed. You follow it closely to get what you need. A loyalty that's sharper than the winter's cold. The neon codes are for the brave and for the bold. This is for the lookouts, the keepers of the peace, who sign silent understanding will never ever cease. We are the guardians of this sick, fragile trust in a world of neon promises that quickly turn to dust. These are the neon codes written in the light, the silent secrets that we keep beneath the night, the unspoken rules that keep us all bound in the shadows of the city. No mercy can be found. These are the neon codes written in the light, the silent secrets that we keep beneath the night, the unspoken rules that keep us all bound in the shadows of the city. No mercy can be found. Follow the light, you know the game. In these neon streets, they'll know your name. The code's unspoken, the truth's untold. In the city's heart, your story's gold.
The city screams a lullaby of sirens and of steel, a constant grinding pressure, the only thing that's real. But even in this chaos there are pockets of a peace, a place where all the noise can stop and all the struggles cease. A project rooftop at the dawn, before the world's awake. Quiet corner of the park, for goodness gracious sake. An old abandoned warehouse where the sunlight filters through. The grimy broken windows, a different shade of blue. These on castles in the sky, they're shelters from the storm. A place to catch your breath a while, a place to keep you warm from the biting winds of judgment and the freezing rains of doubt. A sanctuary for the soul, to let the poison out. We built them from the wreckage, from the things that they forgot. A monument to quiet strength, the only thing we've got.
These are our rusted sanctuaries, built of grit and bone. A quiet place to be ourselves, a place to be alone, be alone, be alone. To mend the cracks within our hearts, and find the strength to stand, and face another day of war in this unforgiving land. Yeah. My mother's kitchen was a church, the table was a pew, the smell of coffee brewing was a promise fresh and new. She listened to our troubles with a wise and patient ear, and in her quiet presence there was nothing left to fear. My father's dusty workshop, a haven from the street, the smell of sawdust and old wood, a bitter wholesome tree. He taught me how to build things with a steady hand and eye, a lesson in creation beneath the doubtful sky. These places were our refuge, our shelter from the cold, a story of a different kind of wealth, more precious than the gold. They taught us that a home is not the walls that stand around, but the love that you can find within on sacred holy ground. It's the laughter of a sister, the wisdom of a friend, a rusted sanctuary's grace on which you can depend. These are our rusted sanctuaries, built of grit and bone. A quiet place to be ourselves, a place to be alone, be alone, be alone. To mend the cracks within our hearts, and find the strength to stand, and face another day of war in this unforgiving land. They can take the building, they can tear them down, but they can't touch the memory, they can't steal the crown that you wear inside the peace you find in the quiet corners of your own damn mind. Now I find my sanctuary in the rhythm of a rhyme, a way to process all the pain and make some sense of time. I build a world with words and beats, a fortress for my soul, to take the broken pieces of my past and make them whole. And when I see a youngin' sitting quiet on a stoop, lost inside a comic book, outside the noisy loop of the streets demand to hustle, I just nod and let him be. He's found his own safe harbor in a world that he can see, cause we all need a place to hide, a place to rest and heal, to disconnect from all the pain that feels so damn unreal. A rusted sanctuary's proof that even in the dust, a flower of a fragile hope can earn a person's trust. So guard your secret gardens, your fortresses of peace, where your true self lives and waits for a sweet release. These are our rusted sanctuaries, built of grit and bone. A quiet place to be ourselves, a place to be alone, be alone, be alone. To mend the cracks within our hearts, and find the strength to stand, and face another day of war in this unforgiving land. Yeah, these are our rusted sanctuaries, built of grit and bone. A quiet place to be ourselves, a place to be alone, be alone, be alone. To mend the cracks within our hearts, and find the strength to stand, and face another day of war in this unforgiving land. Yeah, silent breath, a moment's pause in defiance of the city's laws. A rusted shelter, a sacred space, a quiet smile on a tired face. Yeah.
This whole block is a graveyard of things that used to be. A collection of veiled monuments, only some can see the faded mural on the wall and just a splash of paint. It's a tribute to a kid named Rich who had the patience of a saint. He wasn't tough or violent, his power was his mind. He tutored all the younger kids, the ones in schools left behind. He died in 92, caught a stray that wasn't his to take. For a minute we were shattered, for a minute we would break. His crew put up that mural, his face among the clouds, a silent promise to his mother spoken far away from crowds. Now the paint is peeling off, the colors start to fade. A monument is losing to a decade of decay. The new kids on the corner, they don't even know his name. To them it's just a backdrop for they own a different game. But the old heads we remember, we nod as we walk past a piece of history that wasn't never built to last. We walk among veiled monuments, stories nobody tells. Silent, heavy echoes in the stairwells and the cells. They're not carved out of granite, they're not cast in shiny bronze. They're written in the silence that arrives after the dawn. Among veiled monuments, stories nobody tells. Silent, heavy echoes in the stairwells and the cells. They're not carved out of granite, they're not cast in shiny bronze. They're written in the silence that arrives after the dawn. See that bench there by the court, the one with the broken slat? That's where old man Carter sat with his mangy three-legged cat. He was the block's historian, a witness to the change from jazz clubs in the 60s to a landscape rearranged by crime and desperation. He seen it all unfold, a library of memories in a soul that had grown old. He knew the code, the unwritten laws, the lines you didn't cross. He understood the calculus of every win and loss. He never preached or judged us, just watched us play our parts and offer quiet wisdom to the kids with broken hearts. This anger is a poison, he would say with a soft sigh. It'll burn your house down, just keep you warm until you die. He passed away one winter, quiet in his sleep. Of all the neighborhood secrets he decided he would keep. The bench is just a bench now, but for those of us who knew, it's a monument to a wisdom that was honest and was true. We walk among veiled monuments, stories nobody tells. Silent, heavy echoes in the stairwells and the cells. They're not carved out of granite, they're not cast in shiny bronze. They're written in the silence that arrives after the dawn. Among veiled monuments, stories nobody tells. Silent, heavy echoes in the stairwells and the cells. They're not carved out of granite, they're not cast in shiny bronze. They're written in the silence that arrives after the dawns. History isn't in a book, it's in the cracks in the sidewalk, and the way a certain door is always locked, and the names people refuse to say out loud. You gotta know how to look, how to listen to the quiet. It's where the real monuments are. My own veiled monument is a number on the door, an apartment that I don't walk past much anymore. It's where my first real lesson in betrayal was engraved by a friend I thought was family, a trust I couldn't say. We built our dreams inside those rooms, swore we were brothers to the bone, until he chose a pocket full of silver, left me all alone. The memory's not angry now, it's just a heavy solid stone, a marker for the innocence I once was proud to own. It's a reminder that the heart is just a muscle, not a shield, and some wounds inflicted on it are the ones that never healed. It's not a place of sadness, but a place of solid fact, a point upon a timeline from which you can't go back. So I honor it with distance, with a silent knowing glance, a monument to the last time I decided to take a chance on a promise that was empty, on a bond that wasn't real, and the strength I had to find inside, a strength that's made of steel. We walk among veiled monuments, stories nobody tells. Silent, heavy echoes in the stairwells and the cells. They're not carved out of granite, they're not cast in shiny bronze. They're written in the silence that arrives after the dawn. We walk among veiled monuments, the stories nobody tells. Silent, heavy echoes in the stairwells and the cells. They're not carved out of granite, they're not cast in shiny bronze. They're written in the silence that arrives after the dawn.
Closer than every silent waiting.
In the shadowed archives of the globe, shadow walk beautiful. The shadowed archives of the form, shadowed archives of the form, all shine.
My mind is a collection of shadowed archives, locked and sealed, full of files I'm scared to open, truths I wish were not revealed. Here's a folder for my father and the silence in his stare, the unspoken disappointment that hung heavy in the air. He never raised his voice, his anger was a quiet killing frost. He taught me how to bury pain no matter what the cost. A master of suppression of the calm and steady face, leaving ghosts inside the walls of our old empty place. There's a file on my first failure, the one that cut so deep. A promise that I made my crew, a promise I couldn't keep. I see the faces in my sleep, the trust I threw away, an echo of my weakness
that gets louder every day. These aren't just memories, they're exhibits in the case. A private dusty gallery in the dark and hidden space. I'm the curator and the prisoner, the keeper of the keys, haunted by the whispers carried on the midnight breeze. In the shadowed archives of the soul, the truth is never gone. It just waits inside the darkness for the breaking of the dawn. Every lie you ever told, every secret that you hold is a story in the archives, getting brittle, getting old. There's a section on survival, the things I had to do, the moral corners that I cut to see the mission through. The man I had to be back then is not the man I am today, but a shadow follows me around, it never goes away. He's the one who learned to lie with a straight and honest look, the one who rewrote history and threw away the book. He's the architect of walls I built to keep the world at bay, and now I'm trapped inside him at the closing of the day. There's a file I never visit, it's marked with just a date, a record of a single choice that sealed another's fate. I tell myself it wasn't me, that I was forced into a role, but the archives never lie, they just collect the heavy toll. This weight is not a memory, it's a part of my design, a flaw within the blueprint of this fractured soul of mine. I try to build a future on a compromised foundation, a constant quiet battle with my own self-condemnation. In the shadowed archives of the soul, the truth is never gone, it just waits inside the darkness for the breaking of the dawn. Every lie you ever told, every secret that you hold is a story in the archives, getting brittle, getting old. Getting old, getting old, getting old, getting old, getting old, getting old, getting old. You spend your whole life collecting these moments, these secrets, you lock them away. Think they're safe, but they're not, they breathe, they grow. And one day you realize you're not guarding them, they're guarding you. I've been trying to bring some order, to shed a little light, to go back through the archives in the silence of the night, to face the man I was back then without the rage or the regret, to understand the reasons for the traps that he had set. It's a slow and painful process in archaeology itself, taking every dusty file from its protected shelf, to see the fear behind the pride, the panic and the rage, to turn another painful but illuminating page. Cause you can't build a future if your past is still at war. If you don't know what the ghosts that haunt your quiet hallways are for, they're not there to torment you, they are there to make you see the patterns you're repeating for the whole world not to see. This isn't about forgiveness, it's about acknowledgement, the quiet solid ownership of a life that has been bent but hasn't broken fully. There's still time to realign and find a lasting peace within this damaged head of mine. In the shadowed archives of the soul, the truth is never gone, it just waits inside the darkness for the breaking of the dawn. Every lie you ever told, every secret that you hold, it's a story in the archives, getting brittle, getting old. In the shadowed archives of the soul, archives of the truth is never gone, the truth is never gone, it just waits inside the darkness, just waits inside the darkness for breaking of the dawn. Every lie you ever told, 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 every lie you ever told. Open the files, let them breathe, let them breathe, let them breathe. It's the only way, to be free. The shadowed archives of the soul. The shadowed archives of the folk.
Yo, the streets borough on the town. The streets borough on the town. Down. The streets borough on the town. The streets borough on the town.
The streets whisper secrets in a language only scars can read. A rusted covenant inked in blood, born from a broken creed. Promises like iron shattered under the weight of time's decay. We learn to move in silence, let the loud ones fade away. We were brothers bound by unspoken codes, a bond you couldn't see. Each loyalty a fortress built on what we never be. The nights were cold and ruthless, the shadows drew too near. Survival was just another word to mask the creeping fear. I carry names like buried stones locked deep inside my chest. Faces carved in memory, putting my own soul to the test. We learned the game by watching, played our hands close to the vest, and put the ghosts of fallen soldiers finally to rest.
These rusted covenants we hold tight in the darkest hours of the fading light. Silent notes we never spoke, lost inside the city's iron smoke.
I think about that winter, the one that turned us into men. We traded childhood innocence for a how and for a win. Betrayal came dressed as a friend with a smile and a warm handshake. The easiest of lessons, but the hardest one to take. My mother's voice a faded echo, a warning in the smog. Choose your path, my son, she said, through this unforgiving fog. Each step became a line of scripture written in the alley's dust, where every dream's an illusion and all your hope dissolves to rust. We learn that trust is currency, you spend it and it's gone, and you're left standing empty in the cold and lonely dawn. So we built our walls up higher, made of concrete, grit and doubt. The only way to keep the wolves and the poison whispers out.
These rusted covenants we hold tight in the darkest hours of the fading light. Silent notes we never
never spoke. Lost inside the city's iron smoke.
The streets for all in the temp. The streets for all in the temp. The streets for all in the temp.
You think loyalty is forever? It's not a word. It's a way they chain you carry in silence. You don't talk about it. You live it, or you die from it. The streets keep score. They always do.
Yeah, now I'm left with only ashes of the bonds that time betrayed, and walk with cautious measured steps in this urban masquerade. But the code remains engraved inside beneath the hardened skin, a rusted covenant I keep, forged and lost in discipline. I'm not the man I plan to be, just a man the streets allowed, learning every painful lesson in the silence of a crowd. But still I rise like iron from the grind and grit I trust, because a vow that's made of steel will never turn to dust. I see the young ones make the same moves, I see the hunger in their glance, thinking they could beat the house, thinking they could take a chance. I just nod my head and keep it moving, there's nothing left to say. You can't explain the darkness till it's stolen all your days. These rusted covenants we hold tight in the darkest hours of the fading light. Silent notes we never spoke, lost inside the city's iron smoke. These rusted covenants we hold tight in the darkest hours of the fading light. Silent notes we never spoke, lost inside the city's iron smoke. Valid, heavy. Unbroken, always, they always.
How it hums on rail line still. Storefront glass repeats what's real. Payphone mist on tempered face. Page of math withdraws the page. Wiremaps on Howard. Thread from faces into streets. Pins bite cork, the pattern breeze. Routine plans to beats. If numbers glow by Friday night, we'll press them into shape. Kick holds ground, snare marks force. Truth will not wear a cape. Hands low, 2 and 4. Head nod, laws apply. Footsteps, script the meet in place. Routes unwind and tie. If every piece is speaking, drag each into the light. Let cadence carry testimony. Plain and done by night. Plain sedan writes patient loops. Mirror study hands. Porch light blinks on hour marks. Lookout reads the lens. Mailbox swallows paper wrap. Bands declare the plans. Clipboard teeth on staple steel. Ink then still it stands. Rooftop breath on tellering. Frame squares hand to hand. Radio clears then Easter hush. Coffee warms a stand. Caseboard web of nicknames type. Pins enforce command. Dock horns count in minor time. Crane sweep like a band. School hall thins. The lockers clap. Budget scrape the floor. Newsroom trims the heavier claim. Headlines sell the lore. Spreadsheet irons. Crooked mass. Shirts press public score. Snare paints witness on the 2. Kick locks down the door. Wiremaps on Howard. Thread from faces into streets. Pin spike cork the pattern breeze. Routine plans the beats. If numbers glow by Friday night, press them into shape. Kick holds ground, snare marks force. Truth will not wear a cape. Hands low, 2 and 4. Head nod, laws apply. Footsteps script the meet in place. Routes unwind and tie. If every piece is speaking, drag each into the light. Let cadence carry testimony. Plain and done by night. Bench seat, atlas, true by note. Circles fence to run. Crown Vic takes the long way round. Once then twice then one. Payphone him and measure tone. Coin lens vow was done. Basement entrance, copper air tape. Hum marks to some. Pager flips that upside talk. Left changes lanes. Photos that warms another sheet. Toner goes to stains. Loose brick shifts by cellar lips. Stash learn second vein. Snare keep force like witnessing. Kick relieves the change. Union talk by loading shade. Time cross stamping rows. Forklifts nod and sodium haze. Still mouse test the slows. News deck sends the risky verb. Headline safely shows. If truth walks out in 1s and 4s, the drum decides who knows. Wiremaps on how. Thread from faces into streets. Pins bite cork the pattern breeze. Routine plans the beats. If numbers glow by Friday night, press them into shape. Kick holds ground, snare marks force. Truth will not wear a cape. Hands low, 2 and 4. Head nod, laws apply. Footsteps script the meet in place. Routes unwind and tie. If every piece is speaking, drag each into the light. Let cadence carry testimony. Plain and done by night. Porch step chord and closing cold. Neighbors way to do. Witness words and careful lines. Memory walks into. Captain wants a tidy week. Shirts press public use. School bell marks attendance then months. Turn pages through. Rooftop frost on teleglass. Breath writes winter cues. Case file folds to atlas marks. Routes inherit renews. Pay grade wrong, skip one clean step. Shim recalls the bruise. Kick says stand, snare says speak. The hook returns its use. Payphone glass keeps fingerprints. Stories fogged and clear. Basement wire cools copper tongue. Silence draws it near. If every piece is speaking still, said each one here to hear. Hook lands firm, the heads agree. The count is clean and sheer. Wiremaps on Howard. Thread from faces in the streets. Pins bite cork, the pattern breeze. Routine plants the beats. If numbers glow by Friday night, press them into shape. Kick goes ground, snare marks force truth. Will not wear a cape. Hands low, 2 and 4 head. Now laws apply. Footsteps script the meeting place. Routes unwind and tie. If every piece is speaking, drag each into the light. Let cadence carry testimony. Plain and done by night. Porch step, cording, closing. Cold neighbors way of do. Witness words in careful lines. Memory walks into. Captain wants a tidy week. Shirts this public hue. School bell marks attendance. Then monster pages through. Rooftop frost on teleglass. Breath writes winter cue. Yeah. Case file folds to atlas marks. Routes inherit news. Yeah. Pay grade rung, skip one clean step. Shimrick calls the bruise. Yeah. Kick says stand, snare says speak. The hook returns its use. Yeah. Iron maps on Howard.
Edmondson air tastes like steel. Roll houses breathing rose. Payphone haze on tempered glass. Quarter weight beside the flows. Pager light behind the coat. Pocket map rewrites the codes. Kick plans down. Snare draws lines. The sidewalk keeps its O's. Cold switch. Edmondson turns. Roof flips once and keeps it plain. Threaders clean for name the street. The map remembers grain. Hands say move. Feet say now. Head nod seals the chain. Drums on court. No speeches here. Just truth without a stain. Corner hum. The good shoes pose. Routine draws its art. Pins press in. The Vortex shape. Nicknames light the mark. And each piece steps forward. Bring facts into the light. Let rhythm carry testimony. We'll file it by the night. Porch light taps a quiet code. Lookout learns the air. Plain sedan writes patient loops. Mirrors way to stare. Mailbox swallow paper wrap. Bands confess what's there. Clipboard edges sweat and warm. Ink thins but doesn't spare. Rooftop scope steadies breath. Frame squares hand to hand. Radio clears that needs the hush. Coffee heats the plan. Case board tight as winter wire. Push the set command. Dot crane sweep and counting strokes. Time keeps with the land. School hall thins. The lockers clap. Budget scrape the floor. Newsroom trims. The louder facts. Softens what it was. Spreadsheet irons. Jagged math. Corners keep the score. Snare puts witness on the tool. Kick locks down the core. Bench see that. Let's shoot by notes. Circles guard the lane. Crown Vic takes the long way round. Patience earns a game. Clipboard teeth bite. Staple spines. Margin shoulder strain. Folder state. Warms another sheet. Toner maps the vein. Union talk by load and shade. Time card stamp and rows. Focus nod like O-heads do. Steel forks test the load. Pay grade ladder. Skips a rung. Shins remember blows. Rooftop frost on teller rim. Breast smokes. Frame stays true. Copy destines edges down. Headlines pass for view. Payphone glass keys fingerprints. Stories fogged and clear. Case file folds to roost and signs. The line says what to do. Stairwell early blinks once. Shoes pause. Weight or feet. Cold sweat. Edmondson turns. Roof cut once it keeps it plain. Threaders clean from name to street. The map remembers grain. Hands say move. Feet say now. Head nod seals the chain. Drums on court. No speeches here. Just truth without a stain. Corner hum. The good shoes pose. Routine draws its art. Pins press in. The vortex shape. Nicknames like the mark. And when each piece steps forward, bring facts into the light. Let rhythm carry testimony. We'll file it by the night. Porch step court and closing code. Neighbors weigh and sign. Witness words while careful steps. Memory stays aligned. Ledger grins with sharpened teeth. Columns comb the line. And pieces matter. Set them bare. No polish on the spine. Loose brick lifts. The cellar learns. Shoebox breeze a move. Rooftop glass takes winter notes. Angles land improve. News desk tilts. The safer cut. Prints a tidy groove. Snare says right it plain. The kick says do not smooth. Payphone waits for silent hands. Going to flat and still. Basement wire cools copper taste. Tape hum small and real. Case board sleeps with thread intact. Tomorrow loads the real. Hook steps back. The city nods. The docket seals the deal. Cold sweat, Edmondson turns. Roof fits once it keeps it plain. Threaders clean from name to street. The map remembers grain. Hands say move. Feet say now. Head nod seals the chain. Drums on court. No speeches here. Just truth without a stain. Corner hum. The good shoes pose. Routine draws its art. Pins press in. The vortex shape. Nicknames like the mark. And each piece steps forward. Bring facts into the light. Let rhythm carry testimony. We'll file it by the night. Porch step. Quarter closing code. Neighbors weigh inside. Witness words. More careful steps. Memory stays aligned. Ledger grins with sharpened teeth. Columns comb the line. If pieces matter, set them bare. No polish on the
Abstract falls. Moves cinema. Yeah, yeah.
Yo, yeah. We all know about that. Without affording on the backs of broke. A born cynical. A born cynical. A born cynical. Yeah. Deep roots hold the earth beneath. Steady through the storm, lessons passed down quiet in every shape and form. Mama's love, a fortress rock, shelter from the cold. Daddy's strength beneath the weight. Stories never told, we build our lives from cracked foundation. Sweat and pain, each moment spent in struggle grows the family's name. Brothers, sisters tied as one, bound by every test. A network forged in fire, hearts beating in our chests. Every scar a medal, every loss a truth. A testament to fighting spirit forever in our youth. The city's pulse commands a pace, a rhythm raw and real. We rise on broken ground and strong with every wound we heal. Roots unbroken, standing tall, holding steady through it all. Through the hardships, through the falls, roots unbroken, answer the call. I see the years in my father's eyes, a life lived hard and true. Lessons wrapped in silence, given without a clue. But in those words and spoken lies, a legacy of grace and strength that guides me forward. A calm, steady place, the night comes thick with challenges, shadows of the past, but we move forward fearless, holding love that lasts. Families bond stronger than the hardest stone. Together we build a future, carving out a throne. The streets, harsh voices softened by the ties we share. Our roots unbroken, planted deep with care. Each day a chance to grow, to face the fight. Living proof that strength is born within the light. Roots unbroken, standing tall, holding steady through it all. Through the hardships, through the falls. Roots unbroken, answer the call. Roots unbroken, standing tall, holding steady through it all. Through the hardships, through the falls. Roots unbroken, answer the call. Hold fast, stand firm, roots deep through every storm. Family's love, your guiding light. In darkest depths, the brightest sight. I teach my children how to stand, how to keep their soul, to honor where they came from, to achieve their goal. The legacy's a living thing, growing strong inside. A family bound forever, a constant rising tide. The city made those shadows, but our roots remain. Anchored in love and labor, beyond the pain. Together we face tomorrow, a new day to claim. Roots unbroken, forever aflame. With every breath, every fight, every step we take. This family strength no force can break. In every heart, the promise wakes. Roots unbroken, we carry what it makes. Like roots unbroken, standing tall, holding steady through it all. Through the hardships, through the falls. Roots unbroken, answer the call. Roots unbroken, standing tall, holding steady through it all. Through the hardships, through the falls. Roots unbroken, answer the call. Roots unbroken, standing tall, holding steady through it all. Through the hardships, through the falls. Roots unbroken, answer the call. The roots run deep beneath the ground, a steadfast love, a timeless sound. Through every storm, through every round. Roots unbroken, forever bound, ever bound, ever bound, ever bound.